Come here, I want to do a selfie. Oh no, I'll just do a solo selfie then, never mind.
Here.
No, I don't want to do a selfie with you now. I wanted to do it before, but I've done my own selfie now.
Todd and Erin, morning stream, getparkdaily.com, live my life. So anyway, good morning. It's Monday. Should we go and look at something?
I am deeply pleased about this. Thor totally kicked butt at the box office.
We're going to be talking about a sex worker who knows what men really want. And there's a
technically, she's got some experience there.
amount of research, folks.
I feel like she's done that. A woman sues a bagel shop for $1 million.
Here in Salt Lake City.
She must have been very unhappy with her beverage.
But it came with raisins. She thought they were currants.
What's the difference?
So
I've never been sure either.
And your house is full of bugs.
Horrible things that you can never get rid of. So just accept it now.
Ever get rid of them.
You're gonna die.
Over the weekend, we got to go to a birthday party. Now, let's go through what a normal birthday party is. You go there, hi, how are you? And it's an adult birthday. Okay, so maybe bring a bottle of wine or something for the birthday person.
But then, of course, our friend Jen has to ruin everybody's birthday for the rest of our lives because basically she rents out a condominium in Park City. We all go up there, and she has her friend Franck. You know Franck who ran the restaurant Franck's? Yeah, that guy, the French guy. Yeah, she has him make a dinner for us.
In the kitchen. And we're all talking with him, and we're talking to ourselves and all this stuff, and he's behind the counter, and you can't see what he's doing. And then he starts bringing out the food.
The first thing he put out, and he laid it out for us, and it was a salad. And one of the girls said in a really small voice, "I will never eat anything this delicious again." And it was like that moment you're like, I'm now at the peak of awesomeness, and anything I eat from now on will not be as good. I mean, it was like sort of
and you
dramatic.
know the little spoons they have, and they hand you the little spoon, and you get a bite, and it's like pork rib and all. We are ruined.
In other words, we have now reached the peak of our culinary life.
We're not going...
Yeah. And everything is going to dribble down from there.
Right. The only thing it didn't have was a bounce house. And knowing this crew, they probably wanted one. So...
Yeah. Let's move on, shall we? Okay.
Oh, I have to tell you this. For all the people who think the iPhone 10 people are snooty, revenge.
How?
They suggest not using it below 32 degrees.
But that's going to be a problem for like 90% of us.
You're on a
winter.
mountain. You've broken your leg. You need help.
The phone's like, it's a little cold for me.
It's a little chilly.
Really?
I'm in Antarctica and I'm being attacked by penguins. I'm not sure if that's this one or that one, north or south. Who do you call? No one. You're going to be eaten to death, nibbled to death by penguins.
Well, they've got those sharp beaks, so they could probably...
32 degrees. In Alaska, you're carrying a stick. That's basically what your phone is. Your phone is a stick.
When did they come up with this concept of, well, it's only 32 degrees? Did they mention that in any of the disclaimers?
Well, your phone has that thermal thing that'll, if you leave it on the dashboard, it'll turn everything off so you don't fry the thing.
Yeah.
But I've never seen an issue where it was too cold. They say they can fix it.
I think if it's too cold, I've actually run with one before when it was like about 5 degrees, and I remember it moved more slowly, but it still worked.
It really moved slower?
It was slower. I mean,
like the little mechanical parts in there were...
I know. I think it actually was like struggling against the cold or something because it did actually respond more slowly, but it still worked. Because I took a picture of the fact that I was out running in 5-degree weather to show how stupid I was.
How much did it cost? $999.
Oh no, the average, you have to add on the add-ons. The average price of it.
Well, how about add on for like a wool jacket for it so it would stay warm?
That's what it needs. We need little coats for our phones.
You plug it in and it keeps it warm, like off a USB or something.
Like an electric blanket or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's endearing.
That's what you need.
It's still completely useless. Thor was number 1 at the box office. I'm going to mention that again. Thor was number 1 at the box office. Totally kicked about $56 million more. So now it's up to 211. It's already crossed the $1 billion mark internationally.
Well, that's too bad.
Meaning my internet boyfriend, Tom Hiddleston, should be in business for a while. Daddy's Home too. We really do have to see this, only because it's stupid, but I'm dying to see it.
Really?
$30 million. And this is the one where they're you
Two
remember,
dads.
yeah, Mark Wahlberg and then of course Will Ferrell, and then their parents come.
Step parent.
And he's got John Lithgow, and he kisses him on the lips, which is kind of what you would expect for that relationship with Will Ferrell. And then of course Mark Wahlberg's dad is Mel Gibson. And even Will Ferrell goes, "Dear God, he's beautiful." I'm dying to see that. Number 3, Murder on the Orient Express. This was really close. It was 28.2 million. So that's going to actually be really good. That's the one that Kenneth Branagh did.
Hang on a second. Daisy, you saw Orient Express, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Come on in.
Impromptu movie review.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let me review Thor Ragnarok, but you'll let her do Murder on the Orient
Well,
Express.
look at her. Here, have a seat.
Look at me.
Scoot
look at
over.
me.
Daisy's always the cutest.
Yeah, so I went to matinee on Friday, right?
Yes.
First awesome thing was full of old people. So it was
That was the first thing I expected.
Christie, right?
a lot
The author.
of kind of standing up for 5 minutes and kind of jostling and talking, nice and loudly and all the rest of it. It's quite long, right?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's about 2 hours and 10 minutes. And so about an hour in, I'm sitting there, and I know I can't swear on the show, but I'm just sitting there like, because it is an Agatha, it's a Poirot mystery.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, I'm so lost. I mean, I get that they're on a train, murdered.
It's that inside. then.
But so complicated. And I'm with a girlfriend, and I'm sitting there going, oh, I just must be so blonde. And then, like, 20 minutes later, she turns to me and she's like, do you know what the hell? Do you have
You can say
any
hell.
idea?
Right.
Like, what's... And I'm like, no. But then you can watch it just for, pretty costumes.
Because it's beautiful, yeah.
Beautiful. But if any of you went to see it and actually understood, I mean, way complicated.
You'd like some sort of a flow chart to really clarify what might have actually happened.
Because it was like, oh, okay, I get it. He did it. And then Poirot was like, no, it wasn't you. It wasn't, oh my God. So yeah, go and see it.
All right.
But just
Take notes.
Yeah.
This is how I felt like 2 pages into the novel Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just...
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So were you surprised who actually did it in the if people
No
haven't
spoilers.
actually read it? Were you surprised?
I'll say this. I was surprised at the twist. Yes.
Okay, it's got a twist.
Oh.
That's enough.
Okay.
No
so
more.
then,
And if you think very hard about that, about how I actually answered that question.
Don't.
you cunning vixen.
Shh.
Very nice.
Because you said, was I surprised by who did it? And I said I was surprised by the twist.
Chubby checker.
Chubby Checker. It was Fats Domino.
Yeah, that's what it
Oh,
was.
that's right.
Isn't he dead?
That's why she is the information source.
I adore her so dang much. I can't even stand it.
All right.
Talk about this lawsuit, because this is really weird. It's $1 million. I mean, why did she hate the bagel shop so much?
Well, at first I read it and I was like, oh, here we go. Here's another one.
This is Salt Lake City, right?
It's Salt Lake City. First
Okay.
of all, let me set this up. You know the lady who sued McDonald's because the coffee was too hot. And she won. And everyone uses that as a case of stupid lawsuit. Do you know that she received 3rd-degree burns in her lap? Did you know that she had nerve damage from this? And they actually were serving it
How hot could you have made something that gives you
Like-
3rd-degree burns?
like this much under boiling or something. And they actually
boiling coffee, you're doing it wrong.
They actually lowered the temperature on it.
I think
Did
that's
you know
probably
that?
for the best. I did not know that.
So next time you go, well, there's no one.
Frivolous lawsuit.
You go, no. Well, this lady in Salt Lake City was at a bagel place, and she got some iced tea with her daughter. And they basically got iced tea, and they were like, cheers, like this, and drank, and suddenly realized something very quickly was wrong with
Oh dear,
this.
that's not good.
Yeah, and we're talking like she should have gotten more than $1 million.
What happened?
Well, basically, they both became ill. They're vomiting like immediately. And then they had burning experience in their throats, developed hives, were rushed to the doctors. And basically, she's suffered from esophagus and acid reflux since then and had 2 surgeries and is still in constant pain.
What was wrong with the iced tea?
They used they're deducting that they used an industrial cleaner in the machine and didn't wash it out enough.
Oh, man. This is exactly what happened with that barbecue place, too. I mean, that's really terrifying. It makes you start thinking, maybe I don't. And you are, if you think about it, you're trusting your life to a teenager,
Right.
who's hurrying and getting that over with so he can move on to flirting on his phone with his girlfriend. That
They're
you're kind of taking your life into your hands.
selfie of me poisoning people.
I mean,
It's so funny because, like in New York, there's an expression that's like, well, New York and food poisoning and all this stuff, and they go, oh, it's part of the adventure.
You just had food poisoning. Did you consider it an adventure?
No, except in plumbing, both me and the house. That was horrific. Anyway, so $1 million.
Maybe it's not enough. Yeah,
She
she's
has
had 2
permanent
surgeries.
damage from this. Her esophagus.
Well, yeah, the throat. I mean, that's great. Meaning that every time you swallow, ow. Okay.
And when I read it, I felt the same way. It's like, oh, here we go.
She should. Wait, well, while we're on the subject of like scary chemicals that are out to kill you, this one's really creepy. Okay, fentanyl. I mean, everyone knows the dangers of that now, though. It's like the really dangerous drug derivative that's supposed to give you the same high as oxycodone.
But it is nuts.
And it's a brutal drug.
We're learning more and more about it.
It's ugly. Well, here's what's so terrifying. Apparently, they had drug residue, and they said that they were suggesting, the police department, for instance, in Arkansas, said, always wipe off the handles of your shopping carts.
germs.
They said, all you have to do is rub your nose or touch your child's mouth. Children being exposed to the powder or residue can turn deadly. Just the residue of someone who might have had it on their hands. And then, so they were going through it, and they went, no, it's completely impossible.
You're going to scare me, aren't you?
No, it's the Missouri Network for Opiate Reform and Recovery, and they went through they go through every statistic in the world, and it's like, no, the chance from getting sick, let alone overdosing from residue on a shopping cart is completely impossible. He says it's like comparing the HIV epidemic in the 80s when they said, you can get AIDS from sitting on the toilet. And he's like, no, you absolutely can't. So they actually checked here in Utah, and the Associate Medical Director for the Rocky Mountain Poison and Drug Center said...
What do you say?
He said... It's highly unlikely that anyone could become systemically ill from just having fentanyl touch their skin. It's not absorbed just by touching it. Now, if you breathed it in, if there was some kind of thing where you were breathing it, that's a different thing. So it's interesting, but they said aside from all of that and aside from all of the old waves' tales of everything that can kill you, they said the important thing is this: they said fentanyl can kill you. It is 40 to 50 times stronger than street level heroin. A very small amount ingested can kill you. There was an incident earlier this year when there was an Ohio police officer who was doing a drug bust.
I remember this.
Remember this poor man? He actually had exposure to fentanyl during the drug bust.
And he got on his hands.
Yeah, because he was cuffing the people, and it was pretty. He was saved by Narcan, the doses, the anti.
Because he got his hands to his face somehow or whatever.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the police officers carry Narcan now, so they're able to give him a dose and save his life. But that's scary.
How do they make it?
So it's...
I mean, without becoming in contact with
it's like a mixture of drain cleaner and children's tears. It's like the worst thing ever. No, it's just like the worst thing ever. It really is. It's like just to even think that someone would use it to get high is unimaginable. It really is.
There was a great...
But on the bright side, if you did hear the old way, still don't, your shopping cart's going to kill you.
But still do, because it's creepy.
Yeah, just because you have cold and flu germs.
There's all kinds of stuff.
But don't do it for... You're not going to get
People
fentanyl.
rub their armpits on those. Think about that next time, and you'll wipe them off every time.
I've never rubbed my armpit on a shopping cart.
It's a new thing. You don't know. The kids are all doing it. Good news over the weekend. Eyes were open. People looking. And
thank you
so
much.
Dude that they found.
This is so scary to me because I mean, autism. We're the second highest in the country for autism, and it's gone from 1 in, I believe it was 10,000 about 15 years ago to 1 in every 25 boys now. 1 in every 25
Is somewhere
boys.
on the spectrum.
So everybody knows a child with autism, and especially those who may not be verbal, and children who have difficulty controlling impulses. It's really terrifying. Andrew Cook was seen, fortunately, in Draper, and he was found in some surveillance videos. They found him. He's been missing since Friday.
How old?
And he's 15, but he isn't verbal.
And
he walked out of a gated community.
They have him on security cam here.
But look at his little face.
Off we go.
Yeah,
Man.
so it was interesting. They searched everything. They couldn't find anything or what happened, but he was found in Draper, which was I think it was a good 15 miles away from where he started.
He's a hiker.
But he was found yesterday, so
Yeah.
Good. So thank you, everybody, because we put out a word and everybody was so good about sharing this on social media and posting this picture and saying, please keep alert for this child. And every time we do that, it's amazing how quickly these kids are found. So thank you so much. It is because of you.
All right, there's a deep, dark secret that Disney was trying to have, and it didn't work out. And we're going to tell you what that is.
No secrets can be kept anymore.
No.
It really can't. Let's go to Daisy first. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She is brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Bad things happen to good people, but you do deserve to get your credit back and also a reliable automobile. You can do that by calling them at 801-921-9819. Also by Columbus Travel. If you're looking for a spectacular vacation where you can do spectacular savings, you really do want to go through Columbus Travel. They'll make sure that you get all the upgrades and all the inclusives that you possibly can. Just go to columbusvacations.com. Also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. If you have not had your furnace checked, this would be an excellent time to do so to make sure that you and your family are both warm and safe this winter.
$69 special going on right now.
Just go to allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making headlines Monday, November 13th on GephartDaily.com. Dramatic video out of North Salt Lake Sunday where 2 homes were heavily damaged in a fire that started near one house and quickly spread to another. Firefighters were called to 877 Cambridge Drive about 4:50 p.m. with reports of a shed fire. When they arrived, they found flames had spread to 2 adjoining homes. 30 firefighters from South Davis County battled the blaze, but both homes were rendered uninhabitable. No one was injured, and the cause of the blaze is under investigation. A close call for a Murray police officer this weekend after he was hit by a car at the scene of another fire. The officer was conducting traffic control Sunday night about 8:30 p.m. when a car traveling westbound on 5300 South hit him from behind. The officer was knocked to the ground and nearly run over, but escaped serious injury. He was taken to Intermountain Medical Center where he was treated and released. It's yet to be determined if the car's driver will be charged in the incident. And one person who is being charged is 26-year-old Jason Philip Exley. Police say Exley was single-handedly responsible for the weekend crash that not only knocked out power to 31,000 Kaysville residents, but also led to the closing of I-15 in both directions. Investigators say Exley appeared a bit tipsy when he struck a power pole near the 200 South Kaysville exit early Saturday morning. That crash not only cut electricity, but also sent power lines sprawling across the highway. It took hours to reopen I-15, and electrical power has still not been fully restored. Exley was booked into jail on a DUI charge. And time now for a look at your Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by our fantastic new sponsors at Brio Technologies, Utah's top audiovisual specialists. We're off to a pleasant start this week with temperatures ranging from the low 60s to the mid-50s under partly cloudy, sunny skies. We'll stay dry the first part of the week, but there's a strong chance of rain on Wednesday, which I'm looking forward to. Nighttime lows throughout the week will hang in the 30s and 40s. That's all for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. And Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, so Utah Credit Approval. I got to tell you, we went down and we talked to the gang down there, and this is so funny. The main part of their business is bankruptcy, and whether it was a medical deal or you got out of work or the income in the house dropped out or something.
Unemployment, divorce, usually medical, yeah.
And all these different things, and say, what am I going to do? I need a reliable vehicle so I can go to work, right? And so what they do is, and they don't care if it happened like 4 weeks ago and you filed. Basically what they do is they have lenders that do subprime, which your situation would be that way, and you a little bit higher interest but not crazy. And they have like 10 or 12 of these banks that are ready to do this for
As a matter of fact, I think they are the number one subprime lender in Utah, and Better Business Bureau, they've got their highest rating.
Right.
Which, let's be honest, that is a huge thing, especially when you're talking about finances and car dealerships. But the nice thing is they treat people so well. And it's not like, we've got this one, you can have that. They're like, okay, here are the choices in your price range. Let's go through them and see which option is best for you or for your family or for what you're doing. And it's a huge deal.
Here are the cars that you can afford.
Exactly.
And then they put it together.
And they get it. They said bad things happen to good people. And they said, but we can help you start getting your credit back on track, and we'll get you something reliable and something that you feel good about that you can drive.
And you pay directly to the bank. This isn't a well, cash card loan or whatever it's called. No, you actually pay to the bank that gives you the loan. So there you go.
You know, the day I was there, it was
Utah
really
credit
cool.
Approval.
It was cool. They actually had two people who had come down from Idaho because they couldn't find anything. No one was willing to
Right.
work with them up in Idaho. And they said, we've got a hotel room. We've already got you set up so you can spend the night and we can go through the cars together.
What?
And they took care of it. How nice is that? UtahCreditApproval.com.
There you go.
You'll like these guys.
All right, so you're going to tell me something good, and I understand this is kind of tough.
I don't know if you've ever seen this condition, and it's brutal. I've actually saw a special on it once on 60 Minutes. They call them the butterfly children.
Oh, no, this.
It's due to how their skin can blister and burn. It literally can fall off at the slightest touch. These little people, it's called junctional epidermologist bullosa. And it's a rare disease, but for the parents of a child suffering from this, you can't even, and when I say children, it's because traditionally you don't survive past the age of 18.
So this eliminates holding hands. This eliminates hugging.
This eliminates the power of human touch at all.
Yeah.
And it's just heartbreaking.
Right.
Well, there was a little 7-year-old. He was admitted to the Children's Hospital, and they were like, we got to do something. We have to figure out something that's going to save these kids.
Because so far there wasn't any real...
There was no treatments.
the symptoms.
Yeah, you were basically trying to treat this poor little one's whatever skin would.
Right.
I can't even explain because it's that brutal. So they started with antibiotics. No success. Then they used a skin sample from the boy's father to do a skin graft, thinking, okay, maybe body rejected it. They're struggling because it's just brutal. And so they reached out to Michele De Luca from the University of Italy, and what they found out that there was a gene therapy technique that they had used to conduct 2 successful skin grafts in the past, but no one had ever attempted to graft as much skin as this little person needed. I mean, it was just unimaginable, but this is what's incredible. So they were so dedicated, so determined to make sure this child would live. They took a small sample of the tiny amount of the boy's healthy skin. They found the broken gene that causes the problem, and they named it. It's they call it the LAMP3 mutation.
Yeah.
So they used the sample to grow large sheets of skin, similar to the kind that doctors use on burn patients. So a few skin grafts later, he was released from the hospital following 8 months in intensive care, and little over a year later, he was playing soccer like a normal kid. And the cool thing now, even though he does have a small amount of blistering every now and then.
Oh my gosh, poor boy.
Look at his little sweet
Oh my
face.
gosh.
Look at him. I mean, it's just...
Oh my Lord.
But now a year later, he's playing soccer, and every now and then he will have minor blistering. He has no scarring.
Nice.
He is able, and the scarring is a big deal, not necessarily because of cosmetic, but because of how you move. And you can move it if you have any range of motion and pain.
So they have
But they say that it's been incredible. They said that now they're just waiting to see, but they said based on the other genetic scenarios they've done, they have success rates of up to 12 years. And they said this now extends the life of these children, and it could be into a normal life like everybody else.
This is amazing because it was like they saw the problem and they did it fast enough.
And they found one gene, the one broken gene that changed everything.
And that's because of people in the past doing the gene research.
Isn't that incredible?
They knew where to look, and it's like...
So it's a huge thing. They said
gang effort.
But they said after 10 years of struggling to accomplish past all the rules and the bureaucracy about genetic testing, he said it was worth it. It was worth everything for this one boy.
And it'll probably lead to other things for other people.
Which it always does.
Different things, yeah. So that's pretty cool.
So that's an incredible story.
All right, we have to thank everybody. For you, actually, we're going to thank you with Christopher's. We got a giveaway for a nice meal for 4. Basically, just to say thanks so much for watching.
You know what's fun to me is that when I contact the winners, and then I actually get to say this is really cool because you get to take 3 friends, and then you get to talk about who they're going to take, and they get all excited, and then they plan the day, and they say, "Can you think we can do this and this?" And they've done it for surprises, and they've done it for birthdays, and it's just so much fun. And the hosts have actually told me, Christopher's, they get excited because they're the ones who hand them their gift cards as they come in. And they say it's like always the most fun table for the entire night.
I bet.
So it's really fun for us to be able to do this too. So thank you. All you have to do to enter to win is just basically leave a comment on the show today if you're watching on Facebook. You can do that on the Gephardt Daily one, the Gephardt Approved, or most likely you're watching on the Todd and Erin Facebook page. Just leave a comment. We know you were here. We love you. We pick someone at the end of the week, and that's all you have to do.
All right, so coming up, the fact that Disney doesn't want you to find out. Dun, 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 dun.
You totally sound like one of the late night news channels.
Something in their showers trying to kill you tonight at 11. All right, we'll be back with that.
The Todd and Erin morning stream is brought to you by Utah Credit Approval. Bad things happen to good people, but repair your credit and find the car you want at Utah Credit Approval. Just call 801-404-7201. Also by Columbus Travel. Sign up for their weekly newsletter today for some screamingly good last-minute travel deals. You can do that at columbusvacations.com. And also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. This is the perfect time to check out your heating system and make sure that you're ready for the cold winter months ahead. Go to allutahplumbing.com. And don't forget 24-hour service.
So, Jeff, you do mortgages, right?
I do.
How do you do?
Well, you go to our website, 4minutemortgage.com, fill out the application. We'll call you within 1 business day. The whole thing takes about a month, start to finish.
We went to the bank
They got really personal.
and went through all of our personal records and all of our finances.
And then there was that little deal about the $8,000 closing costs.
Took like 4 months.
That's funny. That's funny.
Seriously, I didn't know. So the adoption agencies, right?
No, this one's pretty scary. It's Heart and Soul Adoption Agency
that
in
here?
Centerville. Yes.
Okay.
They just put them on a conditional license because they found a ton of different violations, including overcharging the adoptive families. Anyone who's gone through the process of adoption already knows how extraordinarily expensive it is.
Right.
I mean, there's a ton of different fees to pay, a lot of different things, and you.
So this is a private agency
Yeah,
doing
you
this.
pay for therapy for the birth mom, which is absolutely crucial. I think it's really important to help her go and get set to continue on with her
Right.
life. But they were doing ridiculous amounts of charges. For instance, a lot of them, the birth mothers had Medicaid benefits that covered all their medical care,
Right.
and they were still charging the families in excess of $4,000. Even for
Okay,
saying,
all right.
for medical care, yeah. They were charging for out-of-state travel, even if the birth mother hadn't traveled out of
Lived
state.
down the street.
Whole different things. But part of the thing that's the scariest is, aside from the wild overcharges, is that they didn't file paperwork properly in several different adoption
no.
cases. Now, just imagine this. You finally have held your breath. The mom has signed the release. You're like, oh, this is your baby. This is your little child. This is your little one. And then you find out that it wasn't legal. Sometimes they didn't notify the birth father. And so they have to go all the way back now and wait that long period of time to see if he wants to sign off. Then they had to go through. I mean, this is terrifying. They
What's
said
the penalty?
the penalty. So far, they're on a conditional license, meaning that they can.
What's the name of the place?
Heart and Soul Adoption Agency.
Okay.
Heart and Soul. It's a
'Cause
conditional license.
This
I
is
don't
like
know
your
what it
most
means.
important, one of your most important decisions
The most important decision.
in your life.
And then to find out that it could all be for nothing.
Not to honor that.
So once again, Heart and Soul Adoption Agency. One of the things the state's recommending is they said make sure that you go online, go to the state websites, make sure you check their record, make sure that they don't have any violations, make
Right.
sure everything's correct. Sometimes they even suggest having a second attorney double check all the paperwork to make sure that it was accurate and that it was done the way it was supposed to be. And then they said also go ahead and check through all the charges, see what they're charging you for, and see if those are double charges.
Right.
And 90% of these agencies have done with great love.
Awesome.
And they're meant to be amazing, but there's always a few that could destroy your life. I mean, destroy your dreams of your child. So, Heart and Soul Adoption Agency, Centerville.
All right. I'm a little upset about this. I'm a little bit upset about
How so?
the Toy Hall of Fame.
Explain.
Well, what do you picture when I say the Toy Hall of Fame?
Like the Etch-a-Sketch or like the Rock'em Sock'em Robots?
About the building. Explain what you see when I say the Toy Hall of Fame.
Like it'd be like a big building with big, bright, like bubbly,
Ooh, good.
colored, like titling.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame, but it'd be like in fun cartoon font. And,
Like the
yeah.
Lego store, right? I don't think that's what this is. I think this is more like a tough shit. Because of the decisions they have made.
Okay.
Well, they have just awarded or brought people toys into the museum as sitting on the altars of fun. I made that up.
That was pretty good, though.
They have all different categories. checkers, chess. These are the board games. The Game of Life. Do you remember that one?
I love the Game of Life.
And you got kids, and you were like, I haven't gone to college yet. Yeah, Candyland. Chutes and Ladders. Oh, used to play that with the kids. They sucked at it.
Did you see the most interesting one that I thought they put in the Hall of Fame? The paper airplane. Think about it. No, but think about it. The simplest thing in the world.
Yeah, a lot of nominees. 5-time finalists were the Clue board game and the Wiffle ball. And the Wiffle ball
the Clue board game should totally be in there.
Came without the Wiffle bat.
Well, don't you need both to make the whole
The
thing
Wiffle
work?
happen. Well, you can throw it too, but
Yeah, but you need the bat.
it's a matching set, folks.
But there were a lot that were overlooked, which kind of shocked me.
Yeah, the Nerf ball was one. If you grew up with a Nerf ball, you know what I'm talking about.
Nerf, it's Nerf.
How awesome was it? Matchbox toy cars. We have those from me.
I know this is cool. We've got the whole
Okay.
set that you collected when you were a little boy. How could you not have Matchbox cars in that? That's like
know.
a quintessential childhood thing.
Here's the one that hurts me. It hurts me dearly. Is the Magic 8 Ball. Do you remember the Magic 8 Ball?
Oh yeah, and you keep shaking it, keeps going. Ask again later.
Yeah, and you ask a question, then you turn it over and you look at it, and it's like, no. So I guess I wasn't ever going to kiss a girl. Cabbage Patch Dolls, they're not in yet.
That surprises me.
Yeah. Operation Board Game.
Come on, you have to have Operation. Are you kidding?
We just bought, look how expensive it is.
Wow.
We bought that for Zoe last Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, Santa did.
Don't start.
I won't.
Don't even start now. You never know
I
who's
won't.
watching.
Okay, what else? Operation then. Oh, here you go. My Little Pony.
You're kidding.
No, not in yet. Should be.
The bronies, you should be up in arms about that, guys.
They are.
I'm very
They
disappointed.
would,
in you.
except they're all dressed up and they can't quite.
So they're
get
raising their
hands.
hooves?
Yes. Battleship the board game. You sunk my battleship.
Yeah, that seems like it's a classic.
It's got to be on there. I mean, if you have a paper airplane, for goodness sake. Pez candy dispenser.
No.
Not on the list?
Pez is like a dispenser for awesome. I mean, how can you not have Pez?
How about Pac-Man? Pac-Man's not on there. That's a game, isn't
Ms.
it?
Pac-Man was a very important part of my childhood.
You really, she still kicks butt at it, too.
It was a very important.
She
Getting all
pushes-
the berries. Oh, my gosh.
Pushes me out of the way. Let me at this machine. Very impressive. Very impressive. What else? Pac-Man, Pez dispensers. It's just, so it's really not,
That's very disappointing to me.
so all the
How
classic.
could you not have Pez
See, like,
dispensers?
and they started off with all the classic stuff,
Yeah.
but it never went anywhere for these,
Well, like
these
ball,
games.
alphabet blocks given, bubbles, dollhouse, kite, naturally, jigsaw puzzle, jacks, jump rope, marbles, jack in the box,
See?
puppet,
See?
rubber duck. You gotta have.
Wiffle ball.
It's
So,
funny. Do you remember
anyway.
that one? Which one was it? It was one of the pro NFL basketball players, NBA, and he started collecting Pez dispensers. I think it was Allen Iverson, because he said everyone around him was like billionaires and they were collecting like Bentleys and things, and he was just starting out. And he goes, "I'm gonna have a collection." So
Candy?
he started collecting Pez dispensers, and so even now when you go to his house, which is
there.
now really palatial because of course
Right.
he's worth a lot of money, he has all the Pez dispensers lined up like my first collection.
How many are there? Can you even imagine?
Bazillion 9. Think about all the ones that they released for all the new movies and all the new. I mean, that's
But
amazing.
even before
Holidays.
all of that, there was a huge amount.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That's funny.
And of course, the candy is horrible and tastes like tiny chunks
is.
of calcium.
And it's hard to load, right? Remember, you get like 3/4 and all of a sudden,
Yeah, that was a pain.
then you just start eating the candies.
still.
Like just straight.
Okay, now explain this about Disney, because this is funny. There's certain movies where secrecy is crucial. I mean, where you have to hide things, and that's one of the reasons for sound stages being so massive, is that
Right.
you can control who comes in and who
You
sees
just take
what.
the thing and you go put it in the closet and you shut the door and you put a guy sitting in front of it, top secret, not going in. Perhaps they have a costume closet, you know, a big room, wardrobes, and they put all the things in there. Can't see them. Jack Sparrow's sword, Jack Sparrow's hat, all these different things. But what happens if you get something big?
Something huge, something
Something
unimaginable that you can't
huge.
even fit like in a soundstage.
And that would be the Millennium Falcon.
This was one of the Star Wars movies.
This is one of the Star Wars movies.
Oh, that's so funny. So they were trying to hide the Millennium Falcon, I guess.
Yeah, Long Cross is the production place that they do. It's about 20 miles out of London. And they do all kinds of, they do The Dark World, Skyfall, Guardians of the Galaxy. They do all these movies there, and it's just a really good location to work. So Star Wars and Google Earth.
Now, if they're hiding the Millennium Falcon, it's because it was going to bust out as a surprise.
It's full scale. It's full scale.
Oh my gosh.
And so they said, oh, what are we going to do with it? And it's like, you know what we'll do? We'll find a field and we'll buy it. And then we'll get shipping containers, which they did. And they built a wall all the way around.
You know, that's actually freaking genius if you think about it.
Yeah, except for Google Maps. You see, most of the pictures from Google Maps are 3 or 4 years old. Well, back when they were filming this, that was, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. A lot of them. And do we have a picture?
Yeah, we got the picture.
We got the picture.
It was an aerial shot.
Boom!
Oh, that's hysterical.
And there's no leaves on the trees just to make it worse.
Oh, that's so funny. So they're being all sneaky. They did come up with a great solution, except for
no
Google Earth.
Did they
and
not?
Ariel.
Did they not watch movies from World War II when they took the factories and they draped them with camouflaging netting and stuff?
That's hysterical.
'Cause if
Why didn't they think of that?
If you had just covered it, you wouldn't think about
well,
what
for
size
sake,
or shape.
even drones can nip over that. But the fact that Google Earth is omnipresent and everywhere makes it kind of a given.
And now we know it's real. Now we know space travel and hyperspace are real, because why would you keep it?
Okay.
That's right.
Sure, we'll go with
No,
that.
it's true.
This is like the word. Every time I look at the city now, I get discouraged because our pollution state comes in so much sooner now, and it stays so much longer. I was up running the other day, up on the Pacific, on the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, and you can see the gunk. I mean, it's all over the place. We only clear out now when we've had a really good rainstorm. But to be honest, we are nothing. We are nothing.
This is Delhi
compared to New Delhi in India.
All right, so this is Delhi, and this is not a constant thing. This fog, this smog, rolled in on the city and has been there. It's not all the time, but they have a toxic containment of smog sitting over the city to the point. How many cigarettes would you have to smoke that would equal the quality and damage that's being done to your system from this smog? Yes.
So you're in New Delhi and you're breathing and
you're walking to work.
So let's say, I don't know, like 2 cigarettes a day, because it's pretty bad. That was really, really bad smog.
Let me tell you first that they've canceled plane flights because of visibility. You're like, whoa, can't you take off during smog?
The pollution was that intense that they couldn't even have visibility?
They have banned cars. They have banned anything that puts out any smoke, because breathing that air is equal to breathing 44 cigarettes a day.
How many packs?
2.
That's 2 packs of
2
cigarettes?
plus 4. 2 packs. Not that I count, because I'm an ex-smoker now from 8 months ago. And
So
it's
proud of you.
Still killing me. But yeah, 44 cigarettes.
So that's like literally a 2-pack a day habit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just horrifying.
And they showed people running. Not out of fear.
No, but like they were trying to exercising?
Because they wanted 8 packs of cigarettes. And the more you breathe, the more cigarettes you have smoked.
Wow. Talk about counterproductive.
Isn't that crazy? So anyway, hey, coming up, what do we got? Coming up, we have to turn the page.
The most dangerous states in the United States.
Where's Utah rank on that?
I bet we're pretty dangerous. We have a lot of people falling off things. And
You say it like you're going, dangerous, like this.
I know, but everyone always thinks we're so sweet and safe.
I'm going to say...
Maybe we're super dangerous.
We'll find out next.
Okay.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink & McGregor. Did you know that you can qualify for a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600? Just go to fink-mcgregor.com for more information. It's mortgages made simple. Also by The Vein Clinic. There's several excellent varicose vein removal procedures, but you need to find the right one for you. You can do that by scheduling an appointment at theveinclinic.com. And also by Black Diamond Heating, Electric, Plumbing, and Air. Black Diamond Experts. They also have a brand new office open in Ogden. You'll be glad you called an expert. BlackDiamondExpert.com.
Fly today
and drive away.
All right, so welcome back to the Todd and Erin morning stream on GetPartDaily.com. All right, so Utah, we fall onto a lot of the bests and the worst and the safest, the most athletic
We're
and the
usually
healthiest.
pretty high. Yeah, we usually do pretty well.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at our city, Salt Lake City, Utah. It's the capital of the Utah.
We're pretty great.
Yeah, we're
state.
pretty great state.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're living life elevated.
I'm not sure I like
I don't
that.
like that one. Never did.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
The people who jumped in and said, "Well, it sounds like you're getting high."
No, it still just didn't make any sense.
Didn't make
at
any
all.
sense. There.
All right, so let's move on. So, dangerous states.
Right, number 10, Kentucky.
The bluegrass state? But they've got rolling fields and horse farms. And...
No, they might as well move to Delhi because it's tobacco country.
Oh.
High tobacco use.
Oh.
I think they get them free. The land of enchantment.
New Mexico?
New Mexico.
What's dangerous there?
Well, it's dicey. You would think that it's okay. Violent crime rates in the counties, out in the rural areas, are gone through the roof.
Isn't that weird? You wouldn't
Yes.
think of that because it doesn't have a ton of huge cities there.
Tennessee. It's
the volunteer state.
What people helping each other?
Yeah, they're volunteering.
Why not? Why
apparently, they need some people to volunteer for the neighborhood watch programs. They had 84,000 simple assault cases and 490 murder cases last year. 490 murder cases.
Maybe the victims were volunteering.
1 year.
Wow.
That's a little scary.
All right, here we go.
This one's kind of a given. Mississippi. Once again, we're going back to the whole South thing. That's
the
so
hospitality state. And perhaps you shouldn't pull up to the table as often. It's the most obese state in the country.
So they're talking about heart attacks and your chances of like dying early from obesity-related conditions. Okay.
The Hoosier state. Indiana.
Really?
Yeah, I know, right?
Really? Hoosier State backed down, but apparently they lack basic protections against discrimination based on marital status, sexual orientation, and gender identity. So apparently the ability to get and find work, the ability for people who are outside the normal mainstream, have a higher suicide rate.
And never wanting to discriminate alone, Missouri is helping them out, and they're like twins.
Isn't that nice? They're showing you something in the Show Me state. It's traditionally violent crime.
Bigots.
It rose in all
Not
categories.
all of you.
Some
Just
cases by double digits.
Some of you.
That's really scary.
It is. Oklahoma. Oh. Oklahoma. Smoke a cigarette.
Oh.
Tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
Tobacco use. Mm-hmm. All right. Louisiana.
Once again, the southern states.
Oh, beignets, deep fried. Oh, poor boys.
So it's the food again.
With mayo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crawfish etouffee. Remember that?
Etouffee.
That was
Etouffee.
really
Etouffee?
good. Okay, so apparently they're not the fattest state because that's Mississippi, but they're the next fattest state. And they're incredibly violent. This is a given. Every time Todd and I have gone there, they always have signs going, "Hey, tourists, try not to get murdered," because we hate that. They had 175 murders last year just in New Orleans alone. So that's pretty brutal.
Bourbon Street. People drink to forget.
I loved that place.
All right, and number 1 is Alabama.
Why Alabama?
Same thing. Discrimination. And they find really same as Missouri and the other one. They just don't.
More racially based crime, more racially based assault.
And same thing about job opportunities and stuff for people with different.
Now,
different
so
deals.
where were we? We were like 43rd on the list, meaning that we were like, which is good in this case because by the time you get to 50th, your chances of living forever are probably really good unless you step in front of a car. But we were 43rd, which was good.
Which is good, and the only reason we're 43rd as opposed to 50th is because of all those darn ice cream spoon accidents. Poking your eye out.
Those are tragic.
Because you're just going crazy.
It's pretty tragic. You know the weird one that I didn't understand why they made that a violent state? It was Alaska. And I was really perplexed. I'm like, well, Alaska's, number one, there's not a lot of people that do anything.
The economy?
The economy is very good. Job opportunities are great.
Healthy. It's pretty.
Animal attacks.
Animal attacks.
You have the highest chance of being injured or killed by an animal.
And here you can see the bears are so mean,
They're showing
they
that's
actually take clubs with them. So they club you and then they eat you. That's how mean they are.
Yeah, our camera guy Mike actually shot this, and I think the bear probably chewed off his leg afterwards or something. But
Is that why he walks funny?
I think so.
Okay.
That bear's showing that stick who means business. But yeah, they said, and it was interesting, not only animal attacks, but the fact that they had a huge ratio of traffic accidents, which involve fatalities from people hitting animals, like bears going across the road and different. I mean, it was like
Moose.
It was like
Moose are the most dangerous in Alaska. It's not bears. It's moose.
Isn't that the most random thing, though? You're like, well, that there's limited crime, but there's lots of apparently pissed off animals.
Mating season just drives people crazy.
Apparently so.
All right, so
That's
coming up.
good.
Oh no, not this one. Not that.
Something that would basically traumatize you for life. It would be the last time you would attempt to be adventurous.
It's an adult
ever
story.
Again.
It's an adult story, and we'll do that.
We'll be delicate.
Right after this.
Yeah, let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily newsroom. She is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. Mortgages made simple. You can get a mortgage with a credit score as low as 600. All you have to do is go to think-mcgregor.com to find some of your options. Also by the Vein Clinic. Go to theveinclinic.com and schedule a consultation because it's absolutely amazing what they can do. I had a procedure done last week, and we're going to talk about it on Wednesday.
Procedure.
The simplest thing ever to get rid of varicose veins. Also by Black Diamond Experts, electric, plumbing, heating, and air. And they also have a new store, office place spot in Ogden. So they're even easier to reach you
Shop.
at Black
Let's
Diamond
call it a
Expert.
shop.
That's a good idea. BlackDiamondExpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Good morning, Todd and Erin. Hello again, everyone. Here's a look at national and world news for Monday, November 13th on GephartDaily.com. Hundreds are dead after a powerful earthquake in the Middle East this weekend. At least 300 were killed and more than 2,500 injured when the 7.3 magnitude quake hit the border between Iran and Iraq. An Iranian border town was especially hard hit. At least 100 people were killed there, and there were reports that a dam has been heavily damaged as well. The tremor was felt from Pakistan to Turkey. And Donald Trump is in the Philippines, marking the final stop of his 10-day trip to Asia. Sunday, Trump met with Philippines strongman President Rodrigo Duterte. Duterte has been heavily criticized by human rights groups for calling on vigilantes to take matters into their own hands in the country's war on drugs. An estimated 6,000 people suspected of using or selling drugs have been killed in the last 2 years. The White House said Trump briefly mentioned human rights during their 40-minute meeting, although Duterte's spokesman denied it. And billionaire Bill Gates is building the city of the future in the Arizona desert. Gates reportedly paid $80 million for a 24,800-acre development called Belmont. A Gates spokesperson says the so-called smart city will be, quote, a forward-thinking community that embraces cutting-edge technology and is designed around high-speed digital networks, data centers, and autonomous vehicles. Belmont is located about 45 miles outside of Phoenix. That's it for now. For more headlines 24/7 from across the country and around the world, go to GephartDaily.com. And for now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
I'm not. I don't want to do this.
You do
story.
it.
No, I don't.
I want to do it.
You do the story.
Oh, first of all, let me tell you about Black Diamond, and we'll just wait for a minute. Black Diamond experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. They've opened up a brand new shop. We decided that's the word we're using in Ogden, so they're even closer to you in Weber County. But these are the guys that basically anything in your house that goes wrong, they can fix it, unless like your chimney falls down, then it's somebody else. But the reason why it's so important right now is because there's so many problems with like CO2 and inefficient furnaces, and you know, so number one, it can actually be dangerous for your family, but number two, even if it's not working at its peak condition, you're paying hundreds upon hundreds of dollars extra in heating bills every year that you don't have to. And sometimes they say it can be as simple as just replacing your filter. So this is one of the reasons I like these guys, because they're licensed and bonded and insured. They come to your house, you feel good about who's coming in, and they'll show you what they're doing. So they're like, you know, if you just do this, it's going to make it a lot easier for you. And you pay what they quote. There's no extra charges. There's no sneaky overages. There's no late fees. It's just what they charge. So go to BlackDiamondExpert.com, and don't forget it's 24-hour service, 7 days a week in case you have an emergency. Now let's decide who's doing this story.
This is the adult part of the show. Pause it if you're watching on demand. Pause it and shoo the kids out, and then come back and you can watch this.
There's
You want to do it, or I don't. I think. Oh, hang on, I got a call. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. I can talk now. All right, it's my parole officer. I'll be right back.
All right, here's... Many couples sometimes spice up their sex life by using toys. So there are many different companies, and apparently some things are incredibly high-tech. I myself did not know this thing was possible.
Is it over yet?
Until I read about this, but apparently...
It's not over.
You can remote control certain toys with an app on your phone. So you might be sitting there and utilizing
Don't put anything
something
in
with
your
your,
hands.
with your partner, and you could be on your phone going, and perhaps do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the important thing is apparently there was a minor software bug
And?
that people found out because when they had opened the app to utilize it, they found out that all of their sessions had been recorded on their Bluetooth.
Oh boy.
So their next question was, at no time was I intending to record any part of this session. And then their next question was, if it recorded on my Bluetooth, because this is an app, did it record up to your server at the company? If I thought such a thing had happened, I would pretty much just go out on I-15 and just finish myself, because that would pretty much be the end. And so basically the company came out and said, we're terribly sorry for the confusion. And they said, your concern is completely understandable. But rest assured, no information or data is sent to our servers, but it is a cache file that remains on your phone until you erase it.
You use the word session. Like a therapy session. But well done. You know what they did? You know what they did when they found out this was happening? The company went, oh.
Like, can we utilize that somehow? No. But they said, no, your concern is completely understandable. No, it did not upload to their servers.
I am so happy.
So just in case you were wondering about something you had attempted that was relatively high-tech, you apparently just need to clear your phone.
If you're home right now.
And I would certainly do that before one of the kids uses it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, gross.
Casey, your kid going, hey, I want to play Toca Boca on your phone.
Oh, that's Toca something. Yeah, no.
Yeah, just
okay,
kidding.
stop talking. Everyone just stop talking.
All right, coming up next.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't care how good a housekeeper you are.
Bugs.
There's things you cannot get rid of.
Bugs.
You're living with them.
Everywhere.
Amongst them.
It's next.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is brought to you by Fink and McGregor. Go to fink-mcgregor.com for mortgages made simple. Because they're a broker, they have a number of different options they can offer you. Just go through a 4-minute questionnaire and someone will call you back by the next business day and get you on your way. It's fink-mcgregor.com. Also by Utah Credit Approval. Utah Credit Approval knows that there's sometimes the bad things happen to good people and that credit may be hard to repair. But you can apply today and drive away today with Utah Credit Approval. Just call 801-404-7201. And also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Go to allutahplumbing.com to schedule a check to make sure that you're ready for winter. And don't forget, they have 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com.
Right. We're deciding.
I can do it. If I handle that last thing, I can do this thing. That's all.
No, let's. Yeah. Is it too much?
I don't know.
Well, we'll do
you
it.
decide.
Let's do this story first.
Okay.
What bugs are you afraid of? Go.
Cockroaches.
What else?
The little juicy spiders. I don't mind the big tarantulas. I can hold them and I like them, but the little juicy things, that's where I get nauseated and you have to come and get them. And then you'll touch them with your bare hand and smash them with your hand. And I'm like, for God's sake, use a tissue.
This is the thumb of death.
Oh, it's so disgusting.
Yeah.
What are you most disgusted on?
Cockroaches. I lived in D.C. And everything was sticky. Ugh. And so silverfish. We had silverfish too.
What are silverfish? I don't think I've ever seen one.
They look like centipedes, but they have 2 long antennae and a split back, little tail like this, and they usually like damp. And see, this is the point of the story: is the entomologists all got together because, well, they're bug people, and they decided to go around and do a homeowner. They approved the homes, and they got to go in with magnifying glasses and with kits of things and sticky pads and all this stuff. and they crawled around with knee pads and gloves on and just went around a certain house.
Boy, you must have them very. And I'm assuming they picked these are well maintained homes. We're not talking about a flop house.
Yeah, no. And they were swabbing for.
There was swabbing.
There was swabbing. There's swabbing for the things that left behind. And basically, what they found out, no matter how you do what you do to your house, there are certain creatures who are going to live there, no matter what. That you don't know on the baseboards, underneath the baseboards. They have mites, skin mites. No, what are they called?
Dust mites.
Dust mites, which don't actually eat dust.
Eat your skin like taco chips.
When your skin falls off, they go get it.
Skin flakes.
Not all at once, like an atomic blast. I'm talking about this, like gets dry, falls off, dinner time. And there is nothing. See, what they figured is like, this is outdoors, okay? Right here. The tableau is outdoors, all right? And so basically the outdoors and your house are connected because they're adjacent to each other. So the bugs in the garden kind of look at your house, and it's just
warmer in there.
And it's an extension of their environment.
So what's the most troubling? I mean, what were they most troubled by finding? I mean, what really freaked them out?
Nothing. It was just the prevalence of them. And they did houses that had been fumigated and all this stuff. What was the other thing? The infestation of
bed bugs was a big problem.
They had those
because they weren't using broad. They were using, I guess, broad
killing
sprays
stuff
now. And what they were finding is they had to have a specialized one for bed bugs.
Well, you know
that
what?
They were really hard to get rid of.
What they did in a couple hotels when they were experimenting with this, they would bring it. Oh.
It's a cockroach.
Oh my!
And that's the cockroach poop and the cockroach eggs.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, that's enough.
That's
I get the point. We get the point. Stop it. Go away. Holy! If you get a room down to 53 degrees, it actually kill the bed bugs. It's something 53. It's something like that. But
that sounds too easy because everyone I've talked to said it's like you can't kill them with fire.
We have friends who won't unzip their bags. They live out of their bag, plastic bag over their suitcase, open it up, grab something out, shut it, plastic bag.
That's just awful. And these are nice. These are really nice hotels where they film the infestation. Yeah,
they're just want to be friends with you, in your
I
bed.
don't want to be friends with
under
them.
your pillow.
I don't want to be friends with them.
So you're going to have to deal with this. You need a therapy session, and everything will be okay.
So there really was no roundup to this or no inspiring thing of, hey, you can get rid of him. It was basically like they're here and you're screwed.
Yeah, and they started like crawl spaces. They started in the basement. They worked their way up into the kitchen. They went to the bathrooms. They went into the bedrooms. They went to the second story, and they went to the third story. And they do have selective ones that like to live in different areas. So pick the bug you're least afraid of and sleep there.
And live in that area.
And live in that area only.
You know, it doesn't matter. After all the years that I have tried so hard to keep the house clean and keep it sanitary so that the kids don't get anything, they're not touching anything, Zoe's obsessed with bugs. So she basically just brings them in her pockets, and like laundry time is this exercise in terror. It may be a pill bug or it could be the first cockroach of spring. Who knows?
All right.
Zoe will have it in her pocket.
We need a minute here.
I can do this.
Okay, so
I can do this.
This has been like the adult show, though.
Not
and
really.
we're adding one more component to the adult show.
Here's how I'm gonna do this.
You're committed right now.
Everyone's interested in the relationships between men and women. Why are we attracted to each other? What makes a marriage work?
This has nothing to do with marriage.
It actually surprisingly does quite a bit. You'll find out.
Go ahead.
There is a person who is a professional who has
professional what, Erin?
In that area.
In what area, Erin?
Interacted with over 10,000 men, according to her.
Oh.
And now that she has finished, she has written a book about relationships and what about men are actually thinking. And it was interesting. She said a little known secret is that there's quite a lot of men who actually seek out escorts who are not the hottest of the hot. They don't want to go for someone classically beautiful because they feel a little shy and inadequate themselves. They say they want someone who is more of a regular person. They say that men are not always obsessed with like insanely hot women. They would like someone who's kind of like them. They don't need the intimidation. But she said the single biggest thing she said that the women underestimate, and this is interesting, is they said men want the feeling, they want to be needed. They want to feel like they are really sexually attractive to their partner. They want that. They want a woman who's like, I am totally think you're hot. I am totally want you. I want you. She said that is the single most essential element of what she did.
After 10,000.
As that's what they wanted there. And she said, surprisingly, you wouldn't expect this, but she said they still wanted a conversation and a connection with the person they were paying, which I thought was really weird. And they also said dressing was interesting. She said, I used to start by really low cut and really sexy. She said, that wasn't really as big of a turn on as you might think.
I think we've learned enough already.
No. But she said, basically, the big deal is that they wanted to feel masculine. They wanted to feel attractive and desired.
Okay.
And I thought
Are
that
we
was
done now?
I actually thought that was pretty interesting.
You know, it is. You know the other thing she learned after 10,000 sessions? Not to take checks. Just in case. Never mind. I'm done. You done on that? Yeah, we're done.
I actually thought it was a rather inspiring finish. This is what's important. That as women, we need to know that we need to remind our men that we find them very attractive. That we're attracted to them. That they're yummy.
Yeah.
And you are yummy.
Thanks. We'll stop now.
I tell you usually in subtle terms.
Do you have the Mermaid one?
No, you have the Mermaid.
Do I
one.
have it? Okay, I'll find it. Anyway, so here's the deal. Name some different workouts that people are doing, like Zumba.
Oh, there's actually a couple of really interesting underwater ones right now. There's jogging underwater, which to me sounds vaguely terrifying because the last thing I want are weights on my ankles
And
when
to
I'm
drowned.
in a pool.
That's funny.
But there's also some other ones now. There's the goat yoga, which we all find quite desirable. I bet it's on the floor.
Okay, I can do it without it.
Okay.
So basically, there's a brand new theme going on. And,
It's pretty cool.
Everyone's really excited about it. It happens in a pool. And basically, there is an outfit you have to wear. Now, we're not talking about sweatbands or any tights.
And what they were finding is it's fantastic for core fitness, for your stomach and everything, and for upper body.
And
But you have to use your arms a lot with this
And
one.
to make you look totally insane. And
I think you would look awesome.
You just imagine everyone, like a group of 20, they pay $25, unless you already have the outfit, and that's only $10 a session. And imagine 25 of you sitting on the edge of the pool wearing mermaid tails.
I love they say,
like
if you
this.
have your tail already,
See?
then it won't be as expensive.
So
That's adorable.
So your object here is not to drown.
To be honest,
that's
yeah.
it. And you can like the mermaid in Splash. She kicks. She does that dolphin kick. That's but you're not a dolphin.
Well, you would see why the core strength would be important because you're tightening everything to make sure you don't sink, and the arm thing would be important because that's the only way you're keeping above the water.
Now I gotta say that I have a thing for mermaids. I don't know why, but I think women exercising and swimming with mermaid tails would be kind of cool.
I actually think it'd be fun. You would feel more graceful as long as you didn't drown, but I think you would feel kind of cool. With
And
your tail.
then I picture like a 300-pound guy with hair on his back with a tail on, kicking his way across the pool. Totally.
Not the same.
It's like Namu,
Not the
the
same.
merman. All right, guys. Thanks for putting up with us again. I'm sorry about all the adult concepts.
I thought
and
that
stories.
was actually a really interesting point to my
Go to
story.
Facebook and give us what your response would be on that. And if it was okay or if it was too much, we'll be glad to take a look at it and then totally ignore you. No, I didn't mean it that way. I mean, I really want to know. So go on Facebook.
No, there was actually a really one. I've had male friends tell me this before that they thought it was interesting. A couple say their wives used to work too hard to be desirable by working too hard to be hot and adorable and everything. And
being hot. So
by the time they did, they were just exhausted and like, I don't like you anymore because I have to put too much effort into this unrealistic vision of who I was.
Right.
And she said that after some soul searching chats, they would figure it out, and then they were more attracted to each other, but without the resentment and the hysterical efforts.
Instead of being more sexual content, instead of being sexy like someone else.
Yeah,
they were
like,
sexy.
like-
They were sexy like themselves.
Yeah, like the unrealistic version of a supermodel or all the Photoshop crap we see now in media. They said that after the conversations, though, that it was a much more, happy thing for both, and that it wasn't the resentment. Because I do think you would be resentful if you felt like you had to be somebody else to be attractive to your spouse.
Tomorrow, coming up on the show, the male libido. What's it all about? No, I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. But go on Facebook. Let us know what you think.
Happy Monday. We
This
love
is
you.
the Todd and Erin Morning Stream on GetPartDaily.com. We'll see you tomorrow.